Okay, we're live. We are here with a special guest from the UK. You've seen him most likely on the West Ham Fan TV fan cams, maybe elsewhere. I don't know. But we've seen him many times on West Ham TV, fan TV fan cams. Mouthful. Yeah, and seems like a great dude. We've heard nothing but great things about him from Dom, from Nicky.
Oh, you're lying now, Tim.
I think you probably are as well, to be honest.
As well, yeah, he said some good things. So anyway, yeah, we're here with Nick Marsh, man. What's going on, Nick?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you boys? Nice to join you.
Doing good.
So this
Thanks
is
for coming, mate.
This is Wayne.
No problem. I appreciate you asking me. It's a nice option to have. So I'll do my best, and I'm looking forward to helping you guys out.
I appreciate that, my man. So real quick, my son wants to say, does that say like and subscribe, and hit the bells. American Hammer.
Hit the bells.
The notification bell.
Yeah. I thought that said so hit the balls for a second. Yeah, it's like
looks like balls. All right. Oh, love you guys. See you later. Cool.
Ow.
That wasn't me.
Oh.
I'm not. Stop. I'm not hitting you.
No.
Shut the door. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. Come again. Anyway, that was Max and his friend Aiden was sleeping over last night. So anyway, I guess you got to mention real quick, drinkwaredesign.com. There's a link in the description below. They make these awesome mugs. And I'm telling you, these mugs are awesome. You can get whatever you want on there, but we have the American Hammers TV logo, which is kind of cool. And I fill it with Strava Craft Coffee. Strava Craft Coffee is in the description below as well. Please order some of their stuff. It's premium craft coffee out of Denver, Colorado. They make regular coffee and also coffee with CBD oil in it. So good stuff. Anyway.
Mine's in the dishwasher, mate. Sorry.
You're not supposed to put them in the dishwasher, mate. You're supposed to wash them by hand, mate.
No, you can put it in the dishwasher.
Have it already, boys. Have it already.
Yeah, seriously. It's like mine's usually half filled with Jameson. In fact, the other night everyone thought I was completely blasted on here because I usually have a drop of Jameson in mine. I have to tell everybody I was completely sober. It was a complete act.
You had me going, man. As soon as we get off the air, he's like, "No, I'm just kidding. I didn't have a drink at all." And I'm like,
just
"You got to be kidding me." So let's get into this, man. So how did you get into West Ham? Is it born into it? Are you from the area, or what's up? What's your story?
Yeah, just my family, to be honest. Obviously, my dad's a big West Ham United supporter, as my granddad was. Obviously, he's passed on now, but just passed down through generations in my family. Me and my brother well into it as well. Not so much with my brother than me, but all my family love West Ham, and there's only one way to go when it's passed down. So, yeah.
A long line of sufferers.
Yeah, a long line of no success, but obviously, listen, we don't support this club for success. We support for things like this and family orientation, and obviously, meeting good people like yourselves and like everyone in London and Stratford and all across the world, really. So, listen, it's good to interact with everybody. So,
it's
awesome. Around the Stratford area, are you, Marshy, or
no? I live in South East London, so I live probably. It takes me probably around an hour to get to home games, and then obviously wherever we're playing away. Up to 4 or 5 hours further north. And sort of maybe an hour and a half around the London away games. So, pretty good timing, to be honest, not too bad.
So do you have a bit of a trek on the tube to get to the matches, or?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, what we do is me and my dad, we drive to a local DLR station, District Light Railway, which takes us into Stratford via a change at Canary Wharf. So, we're relatively lucky, to be honest. Similar sort of journey to Upton Park, and obviously, as we know, this is no Upton Park, is it?
Nah.
But listen, it's about an hour up the road. It's not too bad. So, relatively lucky in that respect.
Yeah, we already have a question in the chat room for you. This is crazy. The chat room's going crazy right now. You seem to be very popular, I guess. This chat room never gets this crazy this quick. So we have metal in both legs in there. Just saying, come on, you irons. We have Gary Smithhurst as usual. Jim Stebbins, Jimmy, aka Gingerbread. Pierre Selly, who he's new.
Gingerbread has no life. Ginge, you have no life, mate.
He says, "How we doing, lads?" And then the question is from Kent Hammers. As an away goer, can you ask Marshy what he thinks about us already having 3 away night games scheduled for the Midlands already this season? Which is Villa, Wolves, and Leicester confirmed.
Yeah, I've been seeing things like that and been sending obviously Dom, as you know, obviously I'm very close to, and I go a lot of games with. He's a very good mate of mine. We've been discussing this over the last week, and another friend of mine, Charlie, that sort of the three of us go together. It's not ideal, to be honest, but I mean, listen, that's what Sky does, and they're in it for the business side of it, the money. So obviously they think we're going to get a good hiding 3 times already, didn't they? So that's the reason that they stick us on the box normally, isn't it? So it's down to us to sort of right the wrongs and prove people wrong, really. So that'll be good to do.
I think we can do it as well. I hate bloody Sky like messing with everything. It's between that and the fact that we haven't had a home game on Boxing Day in God knows how bloody long.
Yeah.
It pisses me off no end. It really does.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think the Boxing Day thing, I don't even think it's so much a shopping. I think it's obviously the volume of people and potential traffic around the area as well. People want to do some Christmas shopping, didn't they? Sales immediately after the Christmas day and whatever. So it is a bit of a nightmare. But I mean, because obviously a lot of us enjoy the away side of it as well, and that gives us an opportunity to sort of spend some time with the family and the mates at football as well. So little bit of best of both worlds, really. But in respect of the 3 away games, obviously Wolves was tough last year. They beat us 3-0 at Molineux, didn't they? Leicester, we got a fairly good result at Leicester. So listen, these games are set to trial, so they've got to be done. So hopefully we'll set up in the right way in order to get the points. Hopefully.
Do you remember your first away game when you were young and going to matches?
I don't so much remember the away one, but the first home one was 95. So I think September, October 95, we beat Newcastle at home 2-0. Cotty.
Oh, hello. He's fallen over.
I know,
He's fallen. He hasn't had a drink yet and he's already on his side.
I know. I should have one here, to be honest, just like I am. But, Danny Williamson and Tony Cotty scored the goals in the home game against Newcastle. We beat them 2-0. I've been fortunate to do a lot of aways early doors. Some of the older grounds, but to be honest, I don't remember. It's probably a good 20 years I've been going up and down away, though, give or take that sort of rough area. So, listen, I love the home games. I'm not a big fan of the council house or the bowl, soulless bowl, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But listen, the away games are what they are, and sort of between 2,000 and 3,000 followers. Obviously, everyone would love to do it, and hopefully everyone gets a chance one day that would like to get involved more in the aways. Obviously, there's beneficial things running through the club, in order to get people that are not maybe as lucky, for want of a better word, of getting the away ones. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely a good thing to do. It brings a lot of good people together, and it's a good opportunity to meet some good new people. So hopefully with them away ones we can get some good points and hopefully try and get off the ground running as well.
For a lot of the American Hammers over here that haven't had an opportunity, obviously they've not had an opportunity to go to an away game because, even with American sports, you really don't do away games over here. It's like it's a foreign thing to them. What would you say is one of the greatest things about being able to go follow your team to an away match?
And which one is your favorite? Which one is your favorite as a West Ham supporter to go to?
What, to go to?
What would you recommend as an away game?
Obviously, you've got your Tottenhams and that, and you're obviously that everyone would like to go to, and especially the result we got there just last season in a new place.
That was lovely.
That went down really well, as you can imagine. Not a lot of people went home that night. We was all out having a couple, so that was good. But I think probably the thing that brings us all together the most is the support of this club. Albeit not very successful currently, hopefully we'll be going into some more successful times, and maybe we've got a wish for that, and maybe we'll wake up, But I think that the passion and the determination of everybody, I think obviously, we lose a few on the road as well, but the passion and desire and commitment of everyone, including the fans, like the players, we get up again, we're in the cars, we're on the trains, good social event as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time, it sounds stupid, but it's not even about the result, it's about the people that you're around. And, when you lose a game and, regardless of the result, you sort of make it what it is. You might be away a few weekends and staying over hotels, trains, all the rest of it. So it's largely about the company that you keep, I think, as well. And obviously, I've met a lot of good people, and I've been introduced to a lot of nice people as well. So it's about that as well. You know, we can't get carried away. That
So have we,
people are-
through this show, and that's all over the world. We're going to have someone from Australia on our show soon. We've had people from the UK, obviously, not just the guys from social media,
Yeah.
or the YouTube. But,
Listen, from what I keep falling over.
Oh, he's got it again. God blimey, we can't get this guy to stand up for love nor money. He's like a bloody weeble.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to do it so I can. I'm not balancing the event against a very good holder. Yeah, no, I think it's from what I've seen of you guys. Obviously, what you're doing is brilliant. Obviously, we've got the West Ham Fan TV boys this side, and I was introduced to them via the likes of Dom and Baz Cox, and people like that that may have a little bit more of an involvement in things that they do. Obviously, you've got Baz with the Isla stuff that's highly commendable, highly respected, and obviously, with your personal life and work and other commitments that you've got, for him to be doing stuff like that as well is highly commendable. And, a lot of people can't speak highly of him, and I'm obviously one of them as well. And obviously Dom does his bits and pieces. But yeah, for you guys, obviously, I've seen some of your stuff, and a lot of the West Ham boys that have already been on, the TV boys, and, like you say, people around the world, it's good what you're doing. And, I'm definitely, I'm in all support for you boys.
I appreciate that, my man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we started off doing just American supporters groups, trying to showcase that there are West Ham support here, or there is West Ham support here. And then we're like, let's just keep going with it. And then we invited, the Hammers Chat and the West Ham Fan TV guys on. And then from there, we said, you know what, let's just bring in UK fans. Like, they don't even have to be associated with anything. And we
without a doubt, and that's what all West Ham supporters do. Try and
everybody's
not make it about one particular group, if you like, and spread the word. Twitter's good for that, and obviously, the social media is only going to get worse, if you like, and this generation obviously suggests that everything's normally run through social media. You can find out a lot of things via that, and I think it's going to be a situation that's only going to go one way now. So, like you say, it gives a good opportunity for every one of us to come together and share all our views and opinions on stuff. Obviously, there's a lot ongoing at the club at the moment. So,
one of my favorite parts of the show is just the live chat. We've had about 10 more people pop in. So we got Wally and Gabe, who are our regulars, pretty much. They just popped in. We actually had them.
They have no lives whatsoever.
Wally says he's in New Orleans right now. I just had a delicious lunch. Now he's a nap. We have Ben Davis from or Davies, however you want to say that. Peter John popped in. That's awesome. Listen, guys, I really appreciate this, and they're chatting amongst themselves too, like during the show as well. And I really like to see that. So we're trying to bring everybody together here.
Yeah, definitely. And, you're doing a very good job. So, like I say, keep up your good work, and it'll be beneficial and pay off for you boys.
Thank you. And we've had Baz on. He was awesome. We've had Dom. Dom was fantastic with us. It was matter of fact, it was me and Wayne.
Yeah, I must admit, obviously, I did watch a lot of his stuff, and I think he had a bit of a poor connection, didn't he?
He did.
About, I did notice that, which is obviously it's no one's fault, is it?
That's why we'll never do Skype again.
Exactly. Yeah, I must admit,
Skype is terrible for us.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but this so far seems to be a pretty good connection.
Exactly.
You boy as well. So listen, Dom is he's one of them characters. I've known him for a few years now, so I mean, I'm sure I'm in a good position to be able to say what I'm going to say. But I think some people, with no disrespect, no names or anything like that, I think people may rub him up the wrong way. And he's one of them characters, boys, that when you get an opportunity to really get to know him, he's actually a very nice guy. And
he seems like a good lad.
Yeah,
he talks a good talk, and he's very knowledgeable about the game. There's all dates, and we'll go to away games, and we'll be on the road, and we'll be talking about old games and how long we've been going, and do you remember this? Do you remember that? And obviously, I've got a few years on him, so I'll tell him a few stories, and he seems to have it all sort of in the back of the mind, date-wise, and who scores, and lineups, and which is obviously good, So I mean, we've all come from different backgrounds, and obviously, like I say, with Baz, and there's a lot of other good boys. Listen, the West Ham boys, Nicky, Ryan, Graham, Scott.
Yeah, they're great guys. Yeah.
Dan Lawless as well. Everything they're trying to achieve and what they're trying to do. It's a big thing for them. We've all got our personal lives and work commitments as well, and for you boys as well to do what you're doing and continue that is commendable. So it's good.
Yeah, I got to meet Nicky and Nicky and Ryan when I was over there, and they had nothing but time for me. Just some stranger, just had nothing but time for me.
They're two very good guys, They're very welcoming. Their platform that they've got there on the West Ham Fan TV he's very inviting, and much like yourselves with you guys, you know, with links and setup, like we've got a chat going on. You know, listen, it's not just for the people that some may think it is. You know, the regulars, the usual boys, the ones that travel more so than others. You know, everyone should be given an opportunity, and I think in the last couple of interviews that I did, especially, I made it known that obviously it's a very good platform to air your views and opinions, and it's listen, everyone that I've met is very, very welcoming, so it's good.
Well,
let's get into some.
here's the thing: is sorry, Tim. How did you get involved with West Ham Fan TV? I mean, was that like a natural thing you popped into, or did they invite you into it? What was the deal with that?
I think it's obviously as I was continuing to go to the away ones more so than the home ones. You know, there was obviously Baz and Dom around, and obviously Luke Morden as well. I've heard you talk about highly. He's another good guy. You know, I think Dom and Luke were doing their own sort of vlogs, if you like, away day vlogs, and I was sort of invited as I got to know them a little bit better on some of their stuff. And it was actually Luke, to be honest. I think it was at Burnley away, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. Maybe a bit less time than that, but it's definitely Burnley. And I did a vlog for Luke, and he kindly invited me on. And it wasn't as such something I wanted to get into. I didn't really think about it, but I thought, you know, seeing the other boys do it, and if there was an alleyway or an opportunity for me there, then obviously I'll take that up. And funnily enough, Luke said, you know, why don't you go and have a word with Nicky? And as of that game, it spiralled on and just continued on from there, really.
What would you say the challenges are that you guys come across when you're out there in the field and you're doing a lot of these fan cams and stuff?
I think you've just got to be obviously, you know, with the drinking that goes on pre-games and, you know, the built-up atmosphere and stuff, you've really just got to try and... for me, it's just about really in-depth watching the game, you know, because if the boys ask you a certain thing and you may not know, it's sort of like, you know, you've got to make it look like you do, and you don't necessarily want that sort of outlook on yourself and for them as well. So it's really just making sure that you, especially any talking points like, you know, maybe a penalty decision we ain't gone our way, or a sending off decision, you know, something that really gets the talking points going. So I think for me personally, it's about just making sure you watch the game and taking in as much of it as you can, so that, you know, any questions that you might be likely to get asked, you're in a position to answer it to the best of your ability, really.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I'm sorry, Tim. I'm pushing you out of the way all the time here, but I'm going to say this: I just recently started doing some online commentating for some football teams over here, and having spent 40 odd years of my life being a football supporter, and really my idea of commentating a game was ref, you fucking cunt. That was my idea of commentating on a game for the past 40 or nearly 50 years. And now I'm actually having to sit down in a booth and be slightly intelligent and know what the hell's going on.
You've got to be a bit more civil. Yeah, no, I understand that.
It's like I'm learning a whole new way of watching the game the last year, and it's definitely something different. And I've got a whole new respect for people that actually do that for a living now. Definitely.
Yeah, I can well imagine you've got to sort of keep your head about yourself and keep your head sort of level on your shoulders. And, you know, you can imagine that some of the away games especially, I mean, the home games are a bit more quiet, and hopefully, you know, in time that'll all build up and we all sort of adjust to it a little bit more, if you like, and, you know, maybe enjoy going there a little bit more. But certainly with the away games, it's, as you would probably expect from a lot of geezers that, you know, I've been drinking a lot of time before the game, and, you know, there is a lot of foul language, if you like, and obviously I'm sort of a guilty party of that as well. You know, you do get a bit annoyed at times, and especially for us some of the time when results don't go our way, and, you know, you've got to try and find it about yourself to get back to a calm level. So yeah, sometimes it's difficult, but you got to just keep going, really, and enjoy it the best you can.
Yeah.
We actually have Wally in the chat room saying that he did get to listen to one of your commentaries, and he said you did a great job.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Who else? Come on, commentary. I'm sorry, like the match commentary.
He must have listened to one of the recent ones, because if he's listened to one of the first ones, he would have heard a lot of dead air.
Yeah, that's something I can never do. I try my best not to swear, but it happens, man.
Oh God, it's hard.
It's very hard.
Really hard.
So, what does it say here? Dan Lawless's mom, I believe, is in the chat. She says, "Always like to hear Marshy. Very well, you know, very balanced."
He's a very well-spoken young man.
And
listen, I'm just me, to be honest. I'm no different to anybody else. I never want to think that I am. So I mean, we all deserve the respect. So it's
we got a couple of people that say the same thing. We got a lot of people in here that are saying that, you know, they love watching you on the fan cams. So that's
No, listen,
cool.
I appreciate your time. You know, you invited me on as well, like the other boys do, and it's certainly sort of become a thing now to you know, you sort of get asked if you miss a few, and you know, some people in the chat might say where are certain individuals and and whatever. So you can't always do it, but I mean, I guess now you sort of it's part of your ordinary sort of match day experience, if you like. Now, so
well, I think there are certain people that get you know, people that are drawn towards. It's like, you know, they figure that I mean, like for example, I'm watching some of the fan cams just yesterday, and my wife is watching, and then it happened to be Ryan who was doing some of the fan cams. And my wife goes, "Oh, he's a bit of all right, isn't he?" And I'm like, "Oh, for crying out loud, sweetheart! You're 50 years of age, and he's a kid."
I tell you what, I've got to say, for he's a good-looking bloke, Ryan, and I see a picture of him just the other day. Actually, I think it was on his Instagram, and I think he was out of Jade. His soon-to-be wife, actually, I believe, and he's looking really well. And he'll probably pay me for saying that. I've got to make sure I let him know that. I think he's been doing a lot of good work and getting himself in some good shape. So no, he's another one, Ryan. He's a good bloke, and you know, everyone deserves all the respect they get. To be honest, everyone's good stuff. So.
Oh yeah, we have a question from the chat room. They ask, would you please ask Marshy of his thoughts revolving around VAR next season?
Yeah, I've had a few people sort of ask me that, and I've sort of said to them, you know, along the lines of, it's going to be an awful thing to implement in what I believe is the best league in the world. You know, there's going to be a lot of that. I think box to box stuff and whatever, and you know, disallowed goals and penalties and them sort of decisions. But I think it's all well and good when it's going for you, and it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread, isn't it? If you get an opportunity and you get a decision go your way. It's when they don't, and it's the reaction then, and you know, it could implement, you know, be an end result of the difference in no points or 1 point or the loss of 3, like, you know. So listen, I'm not a major fan of it, but listen, what are you going to do? There's nothing we can do. We just got to enjoy the game the best we can, and just hope that we're in a position that we're not worrying about that too much going against us and potentially going for us. So,
well, I've seen it work against more times than it should, really. I mean, the Copa America final the other day, yesterday, was it yesterday?
Yeah,
with Brazil and Peru. Yeah, they got it wrong, and we were just talking about how the people I was with, you know, they were actually well, they're Brazilians, but there was a call against Brazil for a penalty or something like that, and the guy was going to start looking. The referee was going to, you know, run up there and look at the VAR, and I'm like, listen, guys, like VAR is not as good as you think. Like it's up to the idiot who actually goes up there and watches it.
Watching it, isn't it? Yeah,
it's up to the idiot watching it, because, you know, and sure enough, he got the call wrong, and I'm like, see, he's an idiot. I mean, that's all that happens. And they were like, oh, VAR is horrible. That's what's going to happen.
I must admit, probably biased to the football in this country. I've not really seen a lot of other stuff. Sort of across the world, you know, different leagues and whatever. But I was watching the women's stuff the other day. One of their games actually was England, and there was a decision in there, wasn't there, that didn't do us any favours, which was a bit of a disgrace. But
the Elsbell's goal that was called offside for like an inch offside.
Oh, that was literally, if it was completely borderline, weren't it? But I mean, listen, we seem to. That was like watching West Ham, really, because we seem to get results go against us and decisions against us more so than we do for us. But like I say, hopefully in this coming season, we're going to be set up for hopefully not being in too many of them positions where it's going to affect our results going forward.
It's definitely going to make for longer games, longer matches for sure. And that's what
the only thing that I really don't like about it is, for me, it takes out the spontaneity of celebrating a goal, and that's what I really hate about it, because it's like, you know, your striker scores, you want to celebrate. Now all of a sudden you have to look to the referee and the officiating crew to see, are they going to go like this? Are they going to go to the sideline? Are they going to grab their headpiece? I mean, it takes the spontaneity of celebrating out of the game for me, and that's what I bloody hate. I can't stand that.
They're probably the ones that you really want to be goals, and they're really good goals and well-worked moves and all the rest of it. And then you see a flag up, or you see the VAR and, you know, the telly thing or whatever it is that's going on now. But yeah, listen, hopefully it doesn't ruin our game too much. Obviously there's going to be, you know, some, and hopefully it's going to be kept at a bare minimum, and it allows the game to flow. And, you know, I've got a feeling they're going to miss some things, because, you know, you can't catch everything, can you? But
true.
It's,
very true.
let's take this back a little bit here. I know we've been going all over the place, which we usually do, but let's go back to like, who were some of your favorite players growing up?
Do you know? I think my favourite player is probably John Moncur. Obviously, in my footballing
Yes.
sort of career, that wasn't too long-winded, if you like. I obviously played in the centre midfield position, and obviously I looked around them sort of players for ideas. You know, you want to be them. They're sort of your heroes, your idols growing up. Julian Dix, another one, sort of that 95 to 97 era under Harry Redknapp, who are siding Pellegrini at the moment. I think he's probably the best manager in my time that I've seen. You know, finishing us 5th that year. The likes of Paolo Di Canio's a god. Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah.
The players like that going forward. Some that you don't want to mention as well for their sort of ability that are us. And to be honest with you, another one I don't think that us hear about a lot was Glenn Johnson. I think when he was 18, sort of going forward at West Ham, he was probably biased West Ham because we all are, aren't we? But I mean, he's probably one of the best right backs I'd seen in them sort of close seasons. And listen, we've seen a lot of good players. Rio Ferdinand, another one. Frank Lampard, players that you love to hate at the moment. Not so much Rio, but certainly Frank. Which I do understand, and I don't. That's probably a conversation for another day. But listen, we've had a lot of good stuff going forward, and we're probably more used to them becoming more successful, knowing that they're not going to do that at West Ham, and seeing big moves. Rio with Man United. Lampard with Chelsea, Joe Cole. Players like that. But yeah, listen, I love them years, and hopefully we can gain some even better ones moving forward. Pellegrini's a great manager. I think most people have got him on side than not. This is probably the first year that he's going to be looked at.
Yeah.
To see what faith he's got and to see the sort of players that he wants to bring in. Obviously, there's a lot going on, with different Arnautovic stuff and Gomez links and stuff like that, and who we get and who we're not. And listen, it's going to be interesting going forward, and I don't think any of us can deny that we're excited and whatever. We seem to say every year, this is going to be a good one, and I'm sort of one of them that, as much as you want it to be, let's wait and see what we sort of get. Like, you don't want to get your hopes up too much, and then we sort of start losing a good few games, and it sort of, takes the edge off of it. So hopefully we can go into the season looking forward to it and in positive moves. Yeah.
Well, I think that's what makes us West Ham fans, isn't it? It's like we're always like, this year something will come together for us, and we'll do it all right this year. And then, like you said, then we'll have like 3 or 4 games where we'll tank, and it'll look absolutely piss poor, and most people will be like, "Oh God, sack the board, sack the manager, sack this person, fire this person, we're useless."
I think that's a lot of renowned stuff for West Ham. I think you see sort of players that are not doing too well, and then as soon as they have a couple of shit games, if you like, consecutively bad games are on your back, and then the manager as well. So hopefully, like I say, in Pellegrini, we've probably got arguably, in my time beside him, Redknapp, the best manager that I've seen, and maybe one of the best managers we've had in our history. So let's see if he can push us forward, sign some good players, and listen, hopefully it's not a too uncomfortable season, and we can see where we can go. Hopefully a cup run as well. I've always wanted one of those. So,
Seriously, yeah.
It's it's been a long time, and since we've won an FA Cup, even a League Cup. To be honest, I know a lot of teams call it Mickey Mouse, but they're more acceptable than winning it than we are, aren't we? So I mean, we'd probably take anything at the current state, wouldn't we? So
seriously.
Let's hope we get. I mean, obviously the FA Cup last year was very inviting to us, and we didn't take the opportunity, did we? Which was appalling, really.
I think this is the year, man. Especially with the the FA Cup kits and everything else. I think that
the commemorative stuff. That's good stuff, by the way.
Bit of vibe. Oh yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm not one to. Yeah, the away one's very smart. I think the last couple of seasons have had some good ones. I can't admit I'm one of those that sort of wears the shirts to the games, and obviously, everyone does what they want to do. But I mean, listen, we've had some very smart stuff. I've seen some of the training gear that the boys are wearing coming back in the pre-season, so I might have to treat myself to a bit of that. Yeah,
some purple.
Yeah, some purple maybe. Yeah, I don't know how that would look, but I mean, we give it a go.
So I'm a traditionalist. I can't go for that purple training gear. It's like it just don't work for me. It don't work for me.
It don't work for you. You're wearing near a purple there, though, mate.
Yeah, it's the old. It's last year's shirt, which I couldn't stand when I first saw it. I couldn't stand it at all. It didn't have enough blue on it for me.
I couldn't
stand it.
Me too.
And then I saw a couple of people wearing it, and I was like, and it's funny because I wasn't a shirt wearer when I lived back home. I just for a start couldn't afford them.
Oh yeah.
So I
you're
never bought them.
showing your colours abroad, mate. That's the thing to do. Get everyone on
That's
the.
exactly. Well, plus back home, you wouldn't wear a shirt down the high street because somebody might bloody come along and mug you. So
you
you
wouldn't
don't
want to do
do
that.
it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do
No,
that.
I mean, I couldn't imagine wearing my West Ham shirt on the tube. I mean, it just not unless I wanted to get somebody's boot in my face. I didn't want to do it back in those
To be
days.
fair, some do, but we're not probably the most favoured in and around the London areas. Obviously, with your Arsenal, Chelsea, and obviously the other lot that I won't mention.
Yep.
So we get a bit of that as well, a bit of banter floating about when you've all got shirts on and bits and pieces like that, which is good stuff. That's what it should be about as well. You should be able to share a bit of banter and make it a good laugh. But there's obviously the times and the places to be sort of more serious and wanting your team to win. So listen, it's all good stuff. Looking forward to the season.
Me too.
Yeah, the last shirt I actually got
really
from back
excited.
home was Scotty Parker, and of course we all know what happened to him. He ended up going to Tottenham once we went down. So I said, forget it. I said I'm not getting another name on a shirt. And then
exactly.
I love Snodgrass. I think Snodgrass is he epitomizes to me. He's just like he's West Ham. He's just a fighter. And I like
listen, I totally agree. Do you know what it is with Snodgrass? And it's what West Ham supporters want. It's that work ethic. It's the commitment.
Yeah.
It might 100%. Not be,
you're
not going to set the world alight. You're not going to play for Barcelona, but listen, you play for West Ham and you understand what it means. And for every bad game he has 5 good ones to compensate.
Yeah.
So, and
I was happy when he got that
year
extension.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm massively pleased with that, to be honest. To be honest with you as well, I think the club are going the right way and they're doing the right things. I mean, we've been known before to share a lot of transfer targets on the social media and be very open and, people very close to the owners of the club, their sons and whatnot, coming out of a lot of different stuff who we're linked with, and then we don't end up getting them players and they go elsewhere, and sort of, our transfer rumours and stuff seems to be quite open. So I think now they're doing it pretty well, and I think they're more surprising us than not really. I think especially with this Gomez stuff going on, and of late I've not really followed it too much. I'm one of them sort of, I love to hear the rumours and you want to believe they're true, but it's one of them, innit? It's, you want to see him with a shirt at the ground. And
yeah,
I've seen Fornals actually, not actually seen him physically, but on the social stuff, Fornals at the ground, and he looks like he's raring to go. And the boys in the pre-season in Switzerland look like they're putting the miles in, don't they? So it's all good.
Yeah, and Fornals, he looks almost like he's a normal person. He does.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some stuff that Guillem Balaguer was saying, the Spanish reporter, and he was sort of saying he's surprised that 3-4 years ago maybe he's not in Barcelona's side, and so that must be obviously a good thing to hear from us, and very positive stuff to hear from that. So I hope it's the ground running. I've said to a lot of people, I don't believe that the Premier League is one of them that you can just walk into.
Correct.
It's a very difficult league, and for me, I'd argue it's arguably the best one in the world. Currently, I think we've got a lot of the best players, barring a couple. Like obviously your Messi's, Ronaldo's done it. There's a few others that you might want to see if they can do it in our league. Like what they say, can you do it at Stoke Away on a Tuesday night when it's pissing down? It's one of them type ones, isn't it? But Fornals looks good, and the Snodgrass contract, that's good stuff as well. Obviously, I've had the Arnautovic situation, which I dare say we'll get onto, and obviously the Maxi Gomez stuff as well. So listen, light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully we can push on and things be good going for us.
I think so.
Well, let's get on to the Arnautovic thing for a bit here, because I'm pissed off because I've been on Twitter since 2009 and I got my first ever fucking ban on Twitter yesterday.
Because whilst I was waiting for you boys to link up with me, if you like, and get the conversation going, I was seeing that, and I think I watched something. I didn't get quite to the end of it, and I see you tweet, and I thought, I wonder what that's about.
I did like a parody chant of the frigging Marko Arnautovic chant. I did, Marko Arnautovic, you're just a sulking bitch, and
okay.
You mugged us off now twice. Hope you choke on fried rice. And they freaking they pulled my Twitter status because they said it was hate speech.
Well, what they want to do is maybe adopt a sense of humour, maybe, and see it as a laugh like we all do.
Honestly,
it's
all this time, and if they thought that was hate speech, they should have seen what I said when Payet frigging mugged us off.
Yeah, well, exactly. I think a lot have been relating back to the Payet situation, saying that I think that was a lot worse than the Arnautovic one and stuff like that. But
I'm just glad he's gone. Good riddance to
I must admit, he had a few good games. Obviously, he scored a few good goals, didn't he, in the time? And he went for a barren spell, didn't he? I think when he was first linked with all this China stuff that turned his head with all the money and wanting out. And I think he had a spell of about 10 games, and he only scored 1 goal and set a couple up.
Yeah.
And so that clearly sort of when you're playing for a team like us and we need your head screwed on and we're all pushing forward as a unit, if you like, he didn't seem to be interested and want that. And obviously, when you wanted to play for a move away, if you like, he didn't seem to really be doing that in the right light. So, listen, he's a bad sort of egg, and it's best off them people are at the club. And at the end of the day, listen, if you don't want to play for this team and you're not going to show the desire and what we stand for and what we want, and you're not going to stand up and take responsibility, then you get shown the door and you're best off out of it. So now
anybody in the club say anything nice about him? Like goodbye, have good luck, see you later.
I think I've seen a few bits and pieces on the Twitter. Obviously, I've seen the official West Ham statement, which I think was pretty good from the club, to be honest.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
they didn't delve.
Again,
I think, to be honest with you, it's quite refreshing to see a more positive approach, if you like, for want of a better word, from the official club statement. Normally, you go into it, didn't thank him at all, did they, for his services? Didn't say good luck going forward.
The lack of words said an awful lot, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
To be honest with you, they've squashed it pretty well. And you've only got a few things to say about him. Clearly doesn't want to be there. So why are you going to wish someone luck that ain't interested? Listen, whether people wish him well or not is down to them. And every individual has a different outlook, probably, and a different view and opinion, and that's what it's all about. But for me, I think, if you're not going to wear the shirt with pride and passion and you don't want to knuckle down for the team and show the grit and the determination, then you're best off out of the way. And you want people like the Rice, you want people like the Noble and Snodgrass, like you say. And again, might not be the most gifted players, but they know what it means to play for this club. And, you look at people like those and then you look at Arnautovic and you're looking at sort of one scale to the other. So, listen, he's best off out. And hopefully, I don't know what the Gomez situation is, but it looks pretty positive from what I've seen. So,
yeah. I'd rather have Bellotti, but yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with Gomez, I guess. But
yeah, I must admit, I don't know much about him, but I mean, I think they're looking at smashing the transfer record again after the Anderson deal. The 42 million. This is more towards the 50 mark, I believe.
They're not letting up. They're not letting up on it, so they apparently really want him.
Yeah,
really
well, I mean,
bad.
The good thing is, I think obviously knowing that Valencia wanted him, and then the potential Hernandez sort of swap deal in order to push it along as well. Sort of give him a replacement striker. Arguably might not be as good as Gomez, but to have a side that will be playing Champions League football, to now not be interested, as if you believe what you read and what the reports are suggesting and certain people are putting on Twitter, then listen, hopefully the future's bright for us, and if they can get it over the line, and that Husilos and them boys, I think apparently out in Spain or whatever, trying to get a deal over the line. So he seems to be the man doing it all for us, bringing Fornals in as well. And I think Pellegrini obviously has this aspect of a game that he wants to sort of introduce, and that's obviously one of the players highlighted. So obviously I look at X's stuff a lot, as probably a lot of people do, and vast majority of stuff he says, I've never met the guy, but I've only heard good things. I've probably seen him about a few away games, but he seems to be the go-to man for all this sort of stuff. And like I say, 95% of the time he's right. So let's hope the Gomez one can be pushed.
I feel bad for X in a way. It's like I think he's under a lot of pressure to perform, and I think like you said before, I think they've locked down an awful lot of the channels where a lot of this is seeping out, and I think people are really dependent on him. And I copped some aggro because I said I don't think any of the in the knows really know much these days.
I think he obviously has his sources as well, X, and like I say, he's very good for his knowledge and his inside info for the club. And there's been different bits and pieces that he's been sort of maybe people not sort of siding with him, if you like, and sort of only got negative things to say. But by and large, I think when you weigh it up with X, as I say, a lot of the stuff is right. So like I say, he's obviously got a personal life and family stuff as well, and obviously work commitments. So he does sort of make that known sometimes, and that a lot of people are asking him, inundated with stuff, and when he puts on his tweets, sort of exciting people, with the eyes, and this is going to happen potentially today and tomorrow and the next day, and everyone sort of gets glued to it, and sort of you can't really concentrate on anything else. But that's a lot to do with the love that we all have. So we all only want the love and the positivity coming from West Ham. So we deserve a lot of good stuff as well. Like I say, not taking anything away from any other club and their supporters, but I mean, especially travelling away from home, we're definitely some of the best supporters in the country, if not the best.
We are the best.
So, yeah. Listen, I've said, I think for me, Man United, their away contingency is something to be potentially jealous about. I mean, we have a lot of good stuff and we're very loud. And I've been at games before now years ago. One of them sort of being Bolton away that year that Pardew got the sack the day later.
Yeah.
And sort of Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, we're 4-0 down in the pissing rain and we're all doing a conga in that upper tier. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of what we do to try and get over a bad result. And obviously, it's not too dissatisfying for us, sort of league position wise, and not as important like that. So listen, we get the laugh and the joke out of it as well, which is what you need. What you're going to do. We're all pissed off and we're all fucked off about it to one extent. And then when you get an opportunity to sort of look at it and maybe watch a bit of match of the day when we get home and from the game and the next day, sometimes depending where we're playing, it's a bit late on the Saturday night, so we're sort of looking at it on the Sundays. And obviously, when we're at games as well, and there's sort of decisions, and is it a penalty, is it not? And when we're there, people that are at home and sort of watching it, and you're sort of contacting us and letting us know, you don't get to see them things till sort of later. So you have to sort of make up the best mind, which is what I was saying about, like making sure you're watching the game for when you're sort of questioned about things potentially, and hopefully
it's an attitude forward. You have to take. It's I think when we started our group up down in Dallas, we sort of used that attitude as well to bring to the pub. It doesn't make any difference, win or lose. We're all about just having a laugh, and that's what we do.
Yeah, listen, it's about a good group of people coming together that have got a love and a passion for the same thing. Sometimes it's hard to find, and football, say what you like, does bring a lot of people together, and it's one of them things maybe look towards it, gets you through your working week, whether you're going or whether you're not, and whether you're covering the game to some degree, or you're watching it indoors, or you're lucky enough to be at the home games or away ones where there's less allocation and bits and pieces like that.
Yeah.
You just want to get through and get excited to watch it, really.
Yeah, it's a good one.
We have 3 questions that are waiting in the chat room.
Blimey.
One of them about a half an hour ago. Just kidding.
I guess we're talking a bit, aren't we?
Jesus. Just kidding.
That's probably me, boys. Probably a bit of verbal diarrhea. No. I should give you a chance to speak.
That's not good. No, it's great, man.
More rabbit than Sainsbury's.
Well, the first one's pretty easy. It says, Marshy, will you sign me a shirt? Or will you sign my shirt?
Listen, I don't know who that is, but I appreciate that. I'm no celebrity. I'm no different to anyone else. I'm a normal, average guy that loves football like the next one does. I'll happily sign something, but I'm not one of them. So I don't want to be made out to be something that I'm not. I'm just like you guys.
I think they're just amplifying the fact that you're probably one of their favorite,
Yeah, listen, whoever they are, I appreciate that, and thank them accordingly for it.
It was actually the gentleman that we had on last night, Gary. Gary he's from England but lives in New Mexico now.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate that.
Kent Hammers has another question. It's Nick, do you think Lanzini will stay, or do you think Fornals is his replacement?
It's a tough one, really. I mean, I have sort of heard the sort of potential rumours, before the pre-season started about going back home, and the sides maybe going back to where is it River Plate? Is it that was mentioned? Maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously, Argentinian leagues, and that's his home, if you like. His home's West Ham actually, but international wise, that's his home. But no, listen, I'd want him to stay. Players like that, we need to be building around. The Declan Rice, the Lanzini. Obviously, there's only a certain amount of places to play for. The competition is going to be quite fierce, and I think you've got people like Jack Wilshere as well coming through. I must admit, I'm a major fan of his, and I made a comment saying that when he's fit and if you can justify and guarantee his fitness, I think he's the best centre midfielder we got at the club. Obviously, I'm yet to see Fornals play and the like. But no, listen, with regard to Manu, I want him to stay like the rest of them do. I want to be able to sort of have that driving force going forward. And when he come back from injury, sort of towards last season, I can't remember the game it was that he came on now. Can't remember who we played at home, but he came on. And as soon as he got the ball, he's driving forward and he's a driving force. And it looks like something's going to happen, So as much as we've got the nobles of this world and who's, is what he says in the tin, he's West Ham through and through like the rest of us. But yeah, going forward with regard to Lanzini, hopefully he can stay and, help to push us on and cement a place as high as possible.
If he can stay healthy and snap out of his rust, I would absolutely agree. It's just when he came back from injury, it didn't seem like his rust completely went away. I mean, throughout the
No.
remainder of the season, he'd make 2 or 3 spectacular moves or passes, and
Yeah, I think you need. I think
he'd
with
do
people like Lanzini,
2 or
like
3
anyone that's
prep.
come. Yeah, I think anyone that's come back from a major injury, ruptured ACL for Lanzini.
Yeah.
I think the only way to prove your fitness, by and large, is obviously a lot of work. Rehab in the gym at the training grounds, but also the game time on the pitch. It makes a big difference. To get involved in the high intensity and the pace of the Premier League. That's the only way that you're really going to be able to rebuild that. And
That's true.
I think Pellegrini's sort of. That's what I like with Pellegrini. He doesn't push people in straight away. He comes back from injury. Lanzini was clearly available, at the back end of the season for first team selection, and at the time that he was, and
Yarmolenko
you
too.
sort of Yarmolenko's been very good. I mean, that game with Yarmolenko at Everton away last year, we won 3-1 and he scored 2 goals. I mean that the curling one from the right hand side of the box in the top left was brilliant. So. If we can see flutters of that going forward next season, especially in the more attacking roles, Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Anderson, again, probably will be judged a little bit more Anderson next season, see what he's made of a lot. And we know the quality that they all possess. Listen, they wouldn't be wearing the shirt and going out on a Saturday, Sunday, would they, if they weren't fit to play for this club? So, so we need to, hopefully Lanzini will stay and we can all push on together and, like I say, cement as position as up the league as possible.
Gingerbread asks, with all that being said about Gomez, we were talking earlier, knowing that he wants to go to or wants to stay in Spain, is throwing money at him the right tactic to get him in?
I've not really seen a lot of it saying regards to he wants to stay in Spain. I'm not obviously denying that.
I've seen 50-50 really. I mean,
I've not really seen it too cemented in exactly, and that's the problem, isn't it? Until he's over here with a shirt and.
It's about the agent, though, isn't it? I mean, it's really that's what we've been reading, right?
I think so. Yeah, I've seen different bits and pieces, but I think what it is as well is the fact that they're all chasing money now. Listen, if you were linked with Valencia, you would have the opportunity of Champions League football, and a lot of people's if you're a professional footballer of that degree and that level, what you want to do is be playing in the top competitions in the world, and Champions League is one of them. So I mean, if he's not wanting to do that, or it's a money-driven game now, boys. At the end of the day, we know it's a business. We know it's all about money. There's no real commitment and loyalty. I mean, there's one player loyalty for us, and that's Mark Noble.
He's the only one.
You can't say that away. Declan Rice is another, but I believe that he'll probably move away, and rightly so. And that'll be more for the right reasons, that he wants to be successful, and he's not going to be a snake about it. And hopefully, if he does get the opportunity to push on one day, that I generally believe he will, and I don't think you can stop him. But I think with regard to Gomez. It isn't necessarily the right tactic moving forward to push 50 million at him. But if you're going to push a transfer fee at him, which obviously it's not really about the fee, it's about the wage, isn't it? So I mean, if you're going to offer him, I think Chicharito's the highest earner at the club currently. I think 130 for 140 a week.
140,
you've got to be looking at maybe at least another 50 grand on top of that to be bringing Gomez in. And I think, to be honest with you, I think the owners in Sullivan and Gold, I think they're quite shrewd with their money, but I think they realise now that, obviously after that big bust up that we had at home to Burnley that year, we lost 3-0 and the guys were on the pitch, with the flagpole and the corner pole and all that, trying to statement of intent, then they started spending money. But I think now if you're going to push on to pastures new and even further up the league and maybe contend for Europa League positions, you need to know and understand that money needs to be spent. And if they need to do that accordingly to bring someone like him to the club, then that's what they're going to need to do. And, whether it looks like it's 50 million thrown at him, which if that is a roundabout way of saying, can you come and play for us, then that's what it's going to have to be at the end of the day. And I think with that expectancy comes with, how good a player are you? We looked at Anderson, didn't we? 42 million plus. And he was like Arnautovic, to be honest, a bit slow started, obviously double the money, if you like. And you're going to expect that from sort of Gomez as well. So if we can push it through, it'd be great, but I don't think it's so much about the money. I think it's about the wages. And listen, if Gomez is going to get 150 here and 100 at Valencia, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, you probably don't need the money being Gomez, but I mean, he clearly, if he wanted to play for Valencia, that would probably be done by now, which is maybe a more positive thing. Speaks volumes for us.
Though, I hope that he can. I mean, a lot of people are saying there's no way he's going to score more than 10, 15 goals But I mean, for that amount of money, I mean, I would expect that he'd score 20 goals. You know what I mean? That's a lot.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
a massive transfer fee.
I
You'd
totally agree.
hope.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you have this perception, don't you, linked with these sort of like world class and ability players these days that they're going to immediately come and bring 25, 30 goals a season with them, but it don't always work like that. But I mean, it's we've got more so a much better reason in order to do that now. You know, our attacking flair and prowess going forward is something to be, might be dangerous for other teams looking at. You know, when we played at Upton Park all those years and become a cauldron, become a dungeon for teams and a sort of den, if you like, that teams are worried to come, and the style of football that we played and the ability those days that we had as well. We seem to be bringing a lot of good players together now, have a lot of different attributes, and hopefully if that can all come together and Pellegrini will get and plan the way that he wants, and if Gomez does sign, then if we can create opportunities for him and it's maybe a partly right place, right time, we could be looking at 15, 20 goals. And listen, hopefully we are. I'll take that all day long.
I'd be happy with him with 15 goals and and Anderson with 7 or 8 and Lanzini with 5 or 6. That spread it around a bit.
Everyone
If
mucking
long as
in.
we've got a bunch, because I think we've got the weapons to do it. With who he's pulling together here.
Yeah.
Definitely, the firepower that we've got is quite dangerous, to be honest. And to be a West Ham supporter, like we all are, that can be exciting times, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into the 10 questions now, there, Mr. Wayne. You think
okay.
Have some questions built up and ready, right?
Yeah, we've got 10 questions here, Marshy, that we'd like to throw at people. So don't think too much about them. They're just fun questions.
No problem.
And we'll just fly through. And sometimes we stick a little bit on them. Sometimes we don't. So
no
here we go.
Okay,
so first question here. Meat pie or fruit pie?
Meat pie all day long.
Okay, mate. Nice one. What's your favourite one?
Steak and onion, I think. Beef and onion. Is it steak and onion or is it beef and onion? One of the two.
See, I like steak and kidney.
Steak and
My
kidney.
wife says she won't kiss me after those. She don't like organ meat.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Okay. Who's your favourite current West Ham player?
Oh, Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Nice one. FA Cup or top 6 finish?
FA Cup.
Nice one. What about West Ham do you love?
The people, the passion, the shared love.
Nice. What about West Ham do you hate?
When we lose.
Yeah. What sound makes you happy?
Sound? Oh, there's a new one. I like that.
The winning at an away game and the cheering like a Watford away last season when we knew we'd got the 3 points and it's all in the bag and everyone's jumping and leaping about, and when you've got a justified result, you're guaranteed 3 points. And that noise, I think I keep relating to it with a lot of the boys that I go with, but when that ball hits the back of the net and it ripples and smashes straight into the corner and you're behind that goal and the players are over, there's not a feeling like that, to be honest. So,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What's your favourite curse word?
Curse word? Don't know, actually. I'll have to think about that one. It's a tough one.
No, you're not allowed to think about it. If I was to punch you in your face right now and you couldn't do anything about it, what would you call me?
Well, I won't relay that on here, but
yes, you will.
Probably
Spell
losing.
It.
Probably losing.
Okay, let's see. What team do you love to beat?
Tottenham.
Okay.
Tottenham or Millwall if they ever get to play us again.
Yeah. Name a player, past or present day, that epitomises West Ham United.
I'm not his biggest fan, but Mark Noble is everything that you want. And when you first think of West Ham, I think he's the main man that comes into your head. Captain, leader, leads by example. We do miss him when we're not with him.
Mm-hmm.
He epitomises everything. He is Mr. West Ham, isn't he?
He's also frustrating too, isn't he? It's like
he is, to be honest. I've had you probably haven't got the time, boys, to go into this. How long's a piece of string? Because I'm not his biggest fan, but I understand. I understand what he brings, and I'm not going to deny that. But listen, between us, I don't think he'll be in an 11 too much longer. I hate to say that, but he'll be in and around the club, and that needs to be made sure that happens. And I think the supporters will make sure the club understand that. He's been there since a little boy. He knows no different. He's been through it all with us, and we've been through it all with him. The heartache, the brilliant stuff. So yeah, listen. Hopefully he gets a role. If he is to take a back seat in the coming season, which to be honest with you, I believe it's going to be next season.
Yeah.
You
If
know,
he starts slowing down, not just slowing down, but if he starts underperforming, and yet the supporters feel like he's the thing that's holding us back, and all these class players that we have, he's the thing that's holding us back. They'll let him know, just like they let Kevin Nolan know.
Oh, it'll happen.
I think to be honest, they're one in the two, aren't they? They're one in a similar player, sort of Nolan and Noble. But I'll tell you what, you know what you get with Noble, and it's reminiscent of John Wonka, and it's sort of thing, you know, like when you play Tottenham at home or away, and the first 5 minutes, if Noble ain't put a grinding challenge in and gets everyone up for it, you know, that's what we're looking for in big games like that, and that's what we're looking for in any game from him. But someone who's not afraid to stick their foot in and get in where it hurts, you know, don't be expected to come away and not be hurt even some of the time, and Noble gives you that. But yeah, listen, and I think, to be honest, he'll appreciate if he needs to take more of a back seat and he needs to have a bit more of maybe involvement in a cup team going forward as opposed to a league team. I think he'd sort of, I think he'd obviously be very gutted and frustrated. But I mean, the good side of him, and the positive side, I think he'll step aside quite happily he'll do what was needed to push the team forward, and you need that. And you know, as long as he's around the club and doing that, then we can't be going too far wrong, can we?
Exactly. Final question. If you could take a time machine back to any West Ham United game or any experience with West Ham and relive or redo anything, where would you go?
I think it'd be the last game at Upton Park, to be honest. I think that whole atmosphere, I think obviously, you know, as it was at the start of the game, you know, everyone in the road, everyone laughing, drinking, obviously a lot of tears and emotion as well as it was during the game, and obviously clearly after with all the, you know, the old boys coming in and, you know, doing a bit of their talking and, you know, like their memories of the club and the ground and whatnot. But yeah, listen, that was a massive game, and you know, lucky and fortunate enough to have been there. And when the Reed header went in, that was up our end as well, you know, with the commemorative T-shirts on, and you know, creating that more atmosphere was an unforgettable night, an emotional night. But I think as well, the great escape at Old Trafford. I think, you know, with Carlos Tevez, that was, again, pissing rain, Alan Kirbysley, Mervyn Day. I remember them all coming over. I love the kit as well, to be honest. Was it the Job Serve Dark Navy one, weren't it? I think my favourite ever kit's probably the Blue Feeler one, DeCanio at Old Trafford, 2001. You know, and I think we beat him in the league that year, Defoe as well. But yeah, listen, the last game at Upton Park was by far the most memorable, but I think that great escape as well at Old Trafford is up there.
Yeah, that bowling game, that's why I'd travel back. Somebody said to me, let's fly over. And I was like, nah, so we can't afford to do that just for that game. And I tell you, if I could turn the time machine back,
you would definitely do it.
I'd sell my wife for it.
I don't think she'll be too happy about that.
No, I mean, I was with great people in the pub, and we a few of us looked at each other and like, if we couldn't be there, then we were with the people we wanted to be with. But,
exactly, that's massively important as well. And you know, for times that people can't get to the games, and listen, obviously, my work commitments and my family commitments now are going to see that I'm not going to be as many as at as many games as what I might like to be. But listen, we all follow the club in our different ways, so you know, there's no doubt in anyone's commitment, anyone's passion, and obviously our love as well. So that's what's bringing us all together.
Yeah.
Awesome, my man. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
It's brilliant.
Same as that, boys. I appreciate you asking me. It means a lot to me, and obviously, I'd like to give you a shout out for what it's worth and get more people to speak to you, boys. You know, you're very welcoming as well.
Yeah. And, if you know any other people who would be interested in popping on our show, we'd be more than happy to have them on.
Without a doubt. Hopefully, people that are watching on, and you know, obviously your YouTube stuff as well as our boys, you know, in London are doing. I'd happily stick some tweets out there for you, see how far I can get for you boys, and give you the shouts that you deserve. So
I appreciate that, my man.
Your stuff's well warranted. Keep working hard. It's good stuff.
Thank you very much. I got to mention real quick the.
Appreciate it, mate.
No worries.
I got to. The guys in the chat room today. Listen, you guys are fantastic. They didn't ask that many questions today, but they were bantering amongst each other, and they were also going along with the show, talking amongst what we're talking about. It's just fantastic to see the chat room's growing. It's really cool. If you guys, I'll make a post later tonight, but I'll repost the link to the Discord. But if you guys in the chat room want to continue that conversation over at our Discord channel or whatever you want to call it, we have tons of different chat rooms in there, and based off of different West Ham related categories, and everything from West Ham books to you know, the Las Vegas event to, you know, West Ham women's team. Anything you want to talk about West Ham, it's in there. Also, there's a non-West Ham talk chat in there.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm definitely going to make sure I'm following you boys. Obviously, you know, more so than not. Clearly, you know, what you're doing is, again, highly commendable. You know, you've got your lives as well, and it takes a lot of time in order to do that. So, yeah, listen, it's not something I could do, which is why I want to help people that, you know, have the desire and the commitment and the willpower to do it. So, yeah, keep on doing what you're doing. And
we'd be more than happy to have you back on again as well. I mean, we'd love to have you back on as well.
Yeah, anytime, boys. Yeah, we'll get the season started, and
we'll do a season preview or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, once the games are coming thick and fast, and you know, maybe even after a game, I'll get back. I'll link up with you boys, and we can have a chat.
Thank you, my man. All
right, brilliant, mate. Really wasn't smashing.
Anything else you want to add before we go? Wayne, anything else you want to add before we go?
Only that I was not drunk the other night, and I've dumped Jameson. Jameson, you're out of the book. Now I'm drinking something called Dead Rabbits. Dead Rabbit, which is a lovely little smoky whiskey. It's a nice smoky whiskey with a little bit of a pepper aftertaste. It's a delicious whiskey. So Dead Rabbit whiskey, which is brewed in a little distillery in Dublin. Fantastic whiskey. So if they want to sponsor me now, they can do. And you, Jameson, can shove it up your old doom papa. Oh, on Twitter, I'm back. And you're not going to ban me again.
Well,
we're back on the Twitter scene.
I'm 27 followers away from the 1,000, and then when I get to 1,000, I get to take $100 off of that stinking Man U supporter, and he's only at 600.
Well, listen, I'm sure there'll be enough people to find your Twitter, mate, and we'll get you to that 1,000 mark. No problem.
Speaking of 1,000, we need 1,000 subscribers, everybody. So come on, we have 621 right now, and I'd really appreciate if you guys could just spread the word. And if you guys are watching,
listen,
and have not subscribed,
I've seen the other boys on here. So listen, I'll do much the same with them. I've spoken to a few of those boys, and we'll do the best that we can to get you moving forward as well. So. Listen, it's all commendable stuff. Keep working hard, and
thank you.
I look forward to coming on again, boys.
All right,
thanks a lot, Marshy.
We'll talk to you here real quick, and then just hang on 1 second. Come on, you Irons, guys.
Come on, you Irons.